Thank you for calling McDonald's. For anything related to employment at McDonald's, or for information on obtaining a W-2 form, please press 1. McDonald's customers, please press 2. To tell us about your experience at a McDonald's restaurant, just say feedback. You can also say nutrition or ingredients, restaurant address and phone information, mobile app help, or it's something else.
Something else.
Something else. You can also say Arch cards, Wi-Fi, donations or sponsorships, new ideas or suggestions, or it's none of these.
None of these.
To find a restaurant with free Wi-Fi, visit mcdwireless.com. For Wi-Fi technical assistance, say technical support. Can I help you with anything else today?
Customer complaint.
To tell us about your experience at a McDonald's restaurant, just say feedback. You can also say nutrition or ingredients, restaurant address and phone information, mobile app help, or it's something else.
Something else.
Something else. You can also say Arch cards, Wi-Fi, donations or sponsorships, new ideas or suggestions, or it's none of these.
None of these.
Thank you. Someone will be right with you. Because your call is so important to us, it will be recorded for quality assurance. In addition, if your call is regarding feedback about your recent experience at one of our restaurants, the call recording may be shared with the McDonald's franchise owner or others responsible for restaurant operations. Lastly, you are invited to participate in a brief automated survey immediately following this call to rate our call center performance. To participate in this survey, please stay on the line after speaking to the customer service representative. Please hold, and I'll connect you to the next available agent. Thank you for calling McDonald's. My name is Jennifer. How can I help you today?
Yes, hi there. My brother and I are starting the next stage of our due process for this particular situation. We've finished with our work on our side. Basically, this sort of thing has happened before, and we've learned to just record ourselves profusely and save it and put it up on YouTube so everyone could access it, investigators and so forth and so on. But ultimately, we were banned, my brother and I, from a McDonald's here in Longmont. It's the one on Bent Way, and the way in which we were banned was, on one end, very discriminatory. My brother, he wasn't even participating in the interaction, and they went ahead and banned him. And the worst thing ever happened, where they never actually told us to actually leave. They were kind of vague about it. They said, finish your meal and then leave. But then before we could finish our meal, while we were still talking to them, they went ahead and just kind of said something like, well, we're going to call the cops now. How do you like that? And so in our times past, we've seen these types of situations arise where potentially some information gets falsified to the authorities. Basically, she called the cops and said that we had been told to leave and that we refused to leave. And so my brother and I are pretty adamant about not being detained unless we're breaking the law or suspicious of any crimes. And so to be framed for refusing to leave when we definitely didn't refuse, and we caught the audio of the whole event, her telling us everything and then her calling and stuff like that. And so we're now at the stage where we're reporting all this to the next higher up in chain. So this is our first contact with McDonald's corporate. But we wanted to invite you guys to go over that whole playlist that we made. And we're honestly we don't really want to sue or anything for discrimination. We would really very much just like our privileges restored to be able to go to that establishment. If you look at the audio, if you go through everything, we don't feel as though we did anything, correct us if we're wrong. But there did not seem to be any policy violations or even statutable violations for us to get removed over. So it looked like a manager that was having a bad day, and it's honestly we're stuck in the area. Our van has had some issues, and so we kind of appear to be homeless, and we occasionally have to fly signs here and there because we lost our jobs too. And so she had rolled in a lot of hate speech into her police call and so forth. It ended up what we consider to be as a homeless lynch. She removed us because we were homeless, and so we caught the whole thing. We've had this happen, like I said, like 30 or so other times in about 10 other jurisdictions now. Most of the situations we run into are between us and police. However, occasionally we get business owners that kind of take the law into their own hands. And so we're asking for you guys to look into this. If you find that there's some policy violations, we would very much like the people held responsible. And like I said, we just want to get back our use of McDonald's. We really didn't. All I was complaining about was that they were charging for sauce packets. I found out later that they had lied. They said that it was a corporate policy when it's actually their own independent franchises policy. And so it was just a dispute in just the what we're asked to pay for and whatnot. And that was it. We never did anything like they themselves never alleged anything like harassment or anything like that. Basically, they just said that they just didn't like us complaining. And we think that they took that a little too far. And so, like I said, we don't want to, insinuate anything. That's why we catch everything on tape. We happen to have had our recorders going from a previous event, like 3 hours prior. So we actually left it on, and sure enough, we caught some juicy from it. So basically the business owner had lied to the police, said that they had told us to leave, and that we had in fact refused. And so the real kicker here to finish it off with is that the police did show up outside after the fact, after we left voluntarily, and my brother left voluntarily completely on his own accord. No one told him to leave. The cops went ahead and detained us with some sort of investigation. Essentially, they held us there for a extended amount of time to issue us kind of a don't come back notice. And that alone is very, very illegal. If you're not, holding someone to investigate a crime or to charge them with a crime, this was just holding us for some private entity, formal warning, kind of an exclusionary order, which you can tell someone to leave, you can tell someone that they, not to come back, things like that, but you don't actually have to hold them to ban them. And so we'll deal with the cops on that side, but we feel as though that she definitely violated some serious policies on her side, the manager here, falsifying information to authorities, removing people without violating policies, things like that. So if you guys wanted to take it from here, it'd be much appreciated. We have that YouTube playlist. We can give you the search terms for it and stuff, because we're very, very serious about this. This is one of our bigger investigations that we've come across. By the way, we've been artificially banned from 6 or 7 establishments now. Almost always the same reason. Basically, we feel as though we're being retaliated against for being whistleblowers. Most of the times, we basically just complain about policies not being followed correctly or consistently. And for instance, we were complaining about not wanting to show our receipt at a Walmart once. We ended up getting arrested for not showing our receipt. A cop didn't know his policies there or job and whatnot. But they let us go. We showed the receipt after. But then the next day, we got banned, for just reporting crimes and stuff. So we're just it's the only McDonald's in the area. We're kind of stuck in this town, and so we're really just trying to get our privileges back is all. So thanks for listening, and let me know if you have any questions.
Sir, I do apologize. This is from $8. Have an enjoyable experience when visiting our stores. Can you help me identify the store that's in question here?
Sure. It's the McDonald's on Hover and Bent Way in Longmont. Let me look it up here for you, just to get the address right. And just to be clear, we're the type of people that if someone tells us to leave, we immediately leave. We don't have any trespassing records or anything like that. We're not very criminal type of people. We're not belligerent or anything like that. So it was just a matter of her not really clarifying how to tell us to leave. And since that never happened, we didn't really know what to do. And so it would have been a lot easier if she just simply told us. But having to say one thing to us and then say one thing different to the cops, that's where our big contention is the inconsistent, the falsifying information, stuff like that. So, but anyways, the McDonald's here in question, it's the one here. Come on, almost there. 1051 Hover Street in Longmont here, 80501. Yeah, and they basically...
I'm trying to locate the store.
Sure. And they basically said that...
1051 South Hubbard Road near an Amico gas station.
Yep.
Mall.
Yep, that's the one.
And when did we visit this location?
Let me pull that up here real quick. Let's see here. By Longmont Police Review. June 30th of this year. Yeah, so we're June 30th. Yeah, so we're still trying to report the falsifying information, to the police on their side and whatnot. But I figured there's.
About what time was it? When all this occurred?
At 5:57 p.m. And yeah, 6:08 is when she called. Manager. And real quick, if I may note this, they said that everybody else was wrong, and that basically that everybody should be charging for packets. From what we can gather online, it looks like it's just an independent policy based upon each franchise owner. And so I don't think you guys have a corporate policy about that. It would be nice to know if you did. But either way...
It would be up to the owners of that franchise as to whether or not they would charge for extra sauce.
Oh, okay. That's exactly what we figured. That's actually what your website says. You guys have a little bit of info on your website. And so that's obviously our contention, is that she kind of puts you guys in the hot seat. And, it's just a lot easier to watch the videos at this point. It's only a couple of them. But we're getting really good at our investigations these days, my brother and I.
I'm going to get this media reported over to the owners of this restaurant. Let them know about what's happened here and all your complaints. As we're going to call, may I get some contact information from you?
Sure, absolutely. Sorry if it's windy here outside. The name is William Montgomery. Just how it sounds, just spelled. And are you ready for a phone?
Yes, sir.
Sure. 970-412-5463. But that's just a voicemail phone. If you happen to try and reach me live, the other number here is 970-825-4421.
And this number is 970-412-5463 and also 970-825-4421.
Yep, that's me. And I apologize, but if there's any way you could squeeze this into the end of the report there, the search terms, so they can see it on YouTube themselves, kind of get caught up. It's very important information. Yeah, that's why we did it. The search terms here are false arrested by Longmont police to be given McDonald's banning notices.
Alright, so may I have a mailing address for you?
Oh, sure, yeah. 305 West, or just the letter W, Magnolia, Magnolia, and that's street. And then on that same line, you want to put the letters PMB for private mailbox, and that's 221. And that's here in Fort Collins, Colorado, 80521. But yeah, in a nutshell, it's a civil. In a nutshell, it's just a civil discrimination thing that we just need to resolve.
Alright, sir, I do understand your concerns here. That address was 305 West Magnolia Street, private mailbox 221, Fort Collins, Colorado, 80521.
Yep, that is correct.
And did you have an email address you'd like to leave as another form of contact?
Sure, please, by all means. It's much faster that way, yes. Z for zebra, O for Ontario, I for indigo, N for Nancy, B for boy, E for Edward, R for Richard, G for Gary, S for Sam, So Zoinbergs, and that's at gmail.com.
Alright, so I'm going to get this immediately forwarded over to the owners, operators of this location, let them know about what's going on. Seeing that this is a very serious situation, I do have a request for a follow-up from them regarding all of this. I'd like to thank you again for calling McDonald's. Your feedback is very important to us. If you don't mind, we do offer a brief survey on how I personally handled your phone call. So if you could please hold on the line, I'd very much appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day, sir.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. You too.
Thank you for participating in our customer satisfaction survey. Please answer the following questions on how well you think your call was handled today. We will be using a 5-point scale, with 5 being excellent and 1 being poor. Please say or use your touch-tone phone to enter any number between 5 and 1, which best describes your response. Again, 5 is excellent and 1